All right, guys. So we're starting Unit 2, and that last lesson we had in Unit 1 was kind of preparing us for this. So let's fill out some of these vocab words. So all the x values in a relation. Okay. So we kind of talked about this, right? We call that our domain. All the y values, that's going to be our range. And right here it says a blank is any set of ordered pairs. Okay, so generally speaking, we'll call this a relation. And a special kind of relation is a function. So the difference, or what makes a function special, is that each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range. So basically what's that saying? Every x value has only one y value. Okay? So to see this graphically, what that shows up like is it must pass the vertical line test, which you might have heard before. So I'm going to do it up here. So let's say I have a graph, that's my xy coordinate, and I have a function that looks like that. Well, is it a function? Well, if I draw a vertical line, it only hits it once, we're good. If I draw a line here, it hits it once, we're good. But if I draw a vertical line here, I hit it once, I hit it twice, and I'll hit it 3 times before I get down to the bottom. So this is not a function, okay? I'm going to use red. Not a function, okay? Doesn't work. So it has to pass this vertical line test in order for it to be a function. Okay, so to the right of us, we have this little graph right here, okay? This is what we're going to call f of x. So I have my x values here, and it says, what's f of x? Well, think of those as like your y values for every x. So if I look, let me zoom in. It'll work. There we go. Okay. So when my x is -1, I have a y value, or an f of x, of 1. When x is 1, I go down 1 to hit that graph. When it's 2, so I go right 2, I have to go down 1, so we have another -1. And then when x is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, I go down 2, so it's -2. So these are like the coordinate points that show up in this function, right? All right. Is it a function? Well, yeah, because it passes that vertical line test. Okay, so if I drew lines up and down anywhere across this function, it would only hit it once. But also, right, if I look, every x value, I only have one y value. X value, y value, x value, y value, right? So yes, the y value of -1 shows up twice, but a y value can have multiple x values. You just can't have multiple x values having a y value. Okay, so it doesn't work going from left to right, right, from x to y, but going from y to x, that's cool. It doesn't matter. We're not looking for a horizontal line test, just a vertical. So what's the domain? Okay, well, the furthest left I go is -1. The furthest right I go is 4. So the domain, and remember we put this in brackets, goes from 1 to 4. And I go the lowest number first, the highest number second. Well, what's the range? Let's go back here. And let me use a different color. So the range, my lowest y value is -2. My highest y value is 1. So we got to put them in order. So it goes from -2 to 1. Okay, so we got some of these questions down here. F of 1 equals what? Well, when it's usually f of x, right? Well, when I plug in 1 for x, what's the f of x? F of 1 is negative 1. F of negative 1, right here, is 1. F of what is 2, or negative 2, sorry. So it's negative 2 here. I know if I plugged in a 4 for the x, I'd get negative 2. And f of what is 1? Negative 1, right? We kind of already went over it over there. So what happens to my graph if I add a 4 to the bottom of the f of x? Okay, so over here I'm going to make a chart. We have our f of x's, and I'm pulling those from these right here. So we had f of x of 1 was 1. We had negative 1, negative 1, negative 2. So for our y values, so this chart right here, I'm taking that f of x we had and adding a 4. Okay, so plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. Right, and I can fill these out. And now I have new x and y values. So let me go to the graph and plot those values. So we had negative 1, 5, 1, 2, 3. It looks something like this. Okay, so that was our start, that was our stop. And we said that wherever we start, right, we call it the pre-image, and this purple is my image. We're talking about our transformations from last unit. What does this look like? Well, we took this and we slid it up, and we said a slide was a translation, and we went up 4. Okay, did the translation affect the domain or the range? Well, let's look. We still have that far left and far right is shared by both of them. But if I look at the range, right, the high point here and the high point there is different than these two. So when we're moving it up and down, right, up and down movements change my range, okay? Up and down movements will change my range. Let's flip that page over. And I have f of x. Let me write it down. There we go. That works. Okay. I have f of x minus 3. So I had my f of x values, which was 1, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2. Okay. And I'm subtracting 3 from all those to get my new y's. And so let me fill that out. Okay. So now I have my new x and y values that I can graph. Well, if I'm looking at this and talking about that last one we did, what do you think is going to happen here? Okay. I see that minus 3. Well, I think I'm going down 3. And what you can do is just take all those points and move it down 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Because remember, a translation, we move every point of the figure, in this case it's a function, in the same direction and the same distance. So I shifted all these points down 3. All right, what's the transformation? We got a translation down 3. Did the transformation affect the domain or the range? Well, we moved it down, and we said up-down movements affect our range. Okay? So let's go to the checkpoint. F of x plus 18, the plus means I'm moving up 18. So if I have fx minus 10, moving down 10. F of x plus 3, I'm moving up 3. Plus 32, up 32, minus 1 is down 1. Okay, so I'm just going to graph this for you. because once we start getting to inside the parentheses versus outside the parentheses, the whatchamacallit, the tables can get a little funky. So I'm just going to put it simply. I'm going to have f of x, and I can have addition, subtraction in here. I can have addition and subtraction over there. So if we come back up here, you see that it was f of, that's the next page. I had f of x minus 3. So that minus 3, that shows up on the outside of the parentheses. And if I have addition or subtraction on the outside, I'm moving up, down. Okay, if I come down here, this plus 4 is on the inside. Inside. And addition and subtraction on the inside moves us left, right. Okay, this is key. Okay, so outside, we move up and down, and it's straightforward. So plus 3 moves up 3, minus 3 moves me down 3. Okay. Inside those parentheses, we're saying it is going to move me left and right, but it's going to be completely backwards of what you would think, right? Normally, you would think, oh, I have x plus 4. Well, I'm going to move it to the right 4. But it's going to be backwards. So I can take all these points, and if I see a plus 4 on the inside, that means I'm moving it left, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I can move every point left 4. So inside is left, right, and it is totally backwards of what you would think. Okay? If you guys get these, right? If you guys understand how to use these rules, you're going to be pretty golden. All right? All right, let's move to the next page. All right. This one right here. Okay, so I see that minus 3, that's on the inside. I know the inside is left-right movement, and I know that it should be backwards of what I think. So minus 3, right, you would think it's left 3, but since it's on the inside and it's backwards, I can take each of these points and move it right 3. So that's what I'll do. Okay, so we had a translation, right 3. Okay, and since I'm doing left and right movements now, right, left to right, I'm changing my x values so it affects my domain here and not my range. Okay, so where did I put it? Here it is. Know this. Make sure you write this one on your notes, okay? This is very important. So let's come back. And, okay. So the plus 18, inside, opposite, I'm left 18. Minus 10, inside, opposite, I'm moving right 10. I have the plus 7 on the outside, that's straightforward. So move up 7. Plus 48, inside, backwards, left-right movement, I move left 48. For number 4, minus 22 on the outside, down 22. And for this last one, okay, I have that plus 30 on the inside, so that's my left-right movement, and it's backwards. I go left 30. I have the plus 18. That's on the outside. That's straightforward. I'm going up 18. Okay. So let's fill out these as well. Okay. If I'm going up 29 units, I know that that's going to be on the outside and straightforward. So I'll do f of x plus 29, and that plus 29 will be outside of the parentheses. If I'm going right 7, I know it's going to be left-right movement. I'm going to be on the inside, and it should be opposite So I'll subtract 7. All right, left 45. That's left and right movement. It's going to be opposite. I have f of x plus 45. All right, this one says left 5. So let's do that one first. X plus 5, because it's opposite. And then up 14. So that will be on the outside. And it'll be straightforward, so we just add 14. Okay, this next one says down 2 and right 6. So notice that they changed the order here. So this right 6 that's what's going to be on my inside. And this down 2 will be on my outside. Okay? Cool. All right. So looking at this, let me zoom out a little bit and kind of get my notes ready. Okay, so let's look at this function. It says, what are the key points? So key points, I need to bring this down. Way down. Okay, so what are my key points? If I look at this function, I have a starting point and I have an ending point. I have a turn here and a turn there. So I'm going to use those as my key points, right? They're also cross at points where it's really easy to see like what the x and y value is. So I have, I need to write it down. Okay, we'll figure this out. So -1, -5. I have 0, 0. I have 1, 2, -3. And I have 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I have 3, 3. Okay. All right. It says, describe the effect of the following. So this is stuff we've already done, right? The -2 on the inside, going right 2. The +7 on the outside, I go up 7. The +2 on the inside says I go left 2. And then I'm going down 3 with that -3. Okay. Now, it says apply them without using a table. So I'll find these key points for all of these and move them in the ways we just listed above. Okay, so the first one we said x minus 2, we move it right to. So I'll take those points and move it right to. And I have my image. For this one, it said up 7. So I'm here, 1, 2, 3, here, here, and there. Right? I took every point and moved it up 7. For this one, we said we're moving it left 2 and down 3. So I go left 2, down 3 for all these points. Left 2, down 3, left 2, down 3, and left 2, down 3 to make my new graph. Okay? So all those movements, right, those are going to apply to every single point that we find. Okay? So we're going to talk about negatives. So if you see a negative, we're going to flip it. Okay? So if you look down here, we have negatives that show up in 2 different ways. So just like the translations, okay, if it's on the outside, we're going to flip it up and down. And if it's on the inside, we're going to flip it left and right. So flipping up and down, right, I got to flip over that x-axis. I'm going to bring points up here, down here, and I'll make a graph like that. Okay, so that's going to be a reflection around the x-axis. And that's because this negative sign shows outside of the parentheses. Okay, and so that algebraic rule was xy becomes x negative y. And so remember with graphing, if you're trying to find where the new point is, well, how many movements do I need to make to hit the axis? Well, I go up 2, I hit the axis, and then I can just double it up, move up 2 more, and that's my new point. All right, did it affect the domain or the range? We flipped it up down, and we said anything moving up down, that's going to be affecting our range. Okay, this one, I have that negative, and it shows up inside the parentheses. So I know that I'm flipping with the negative, and since it's inside, it's going to move left and right. So I'll be flipping around the y-axis. Okay, so flipping around the y-axis, I have a reflection around the y-axis, and that rule was xy becomes negative xy. And since I'm flipping left and right, that's going to affect my domain. Okay, and we can do that with my h functions that we had earlier, right? Negative x, that negative's on the inside, I'm flipping it left and right over this y-axis, right? So I move right 1 to hit that axis, I'll double it up. Remember, if we have a line on the line of reflection, it stays still, right? If I move it 0, what's double 0? Well, that's 0 too. So left 2, double that up. And for this one, I move left 1, 2, 3. So I'll double that up as well. And we have our new image. All right, this one. Negative sign tells me I'm flipping. It's on the outside. I know I'm flipping up, down. So I'll take these points, and I'll flip them around this x-axis to flip it up and down. So down 3, double it up. Up 3, double it up. Okay. It's on the line, so it stays still. And I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll double it up there too. And I just flipped it around the x-axis. Okay. All right. So you guys are going to use that information. You're going to work on this homework sheet, okay? I'll have the key posted so you guys can check this as you're going. Make sure you're working on it, okay? This is building the foundation for how this unit is going to go. So for these first couple lessons, I'm going to have that key posted so you guys can check your work, make sure you're doing it correctly. But after those first 2 lessons, right, you're going to have assignments that won't have an answer key. And you're going to have to be able to get that right, so when you take the test, you're not going to be doomed. All right?